Caner Universe, it's Caner Tip Tuesday, and today this training tool will take your cane training to the next level, maximize your training. I'm going to show you how to use it, but before we do that, a warm welcome as always, especially those of you who are landing here for the first time. If you like the content, do this now so that you don't forget. Hit the subscribe button and then hit that little bell icon so that you don't miss any future content. You have 2 free resources you want to avail yourself, the most important being the no-cost cane clarity call. That's a call. It's not going to cost you a penny, and it's to get educated, ask all the questions regarding the cane, and more importantly, how to get cane training, whatever it is that interests you. You'll walk out of there with a blueprint and a step-by-step as to how to make it happen. That's number one. You want to schedule it so that we dedicate the time to answer all your questions. So do that. You do it by texting the letter CCC to 305-745-7839. And then we have a Facebook group that is open to the public. All you have to do is request entry. They'll let you write in. Look at the description. It's called Cane Flow. Just look at that down below and we'll see you on the inside. So there's this one tool that can really maximize your training, especially those of you that train solo. If you can get a loving individual that can just stand there, they're not going to have to do a whole heck of a lot. And you may have seen this, especially if you come to Immersions and Sobrevivencia training. Maestro Ruiz is very fond of something. It's just like this, just a straight up down. It's about 4 foot long, just a stick. You can get this at a hardware store, very light. But there's at least 3 different areas. There's more, but I'll share with you 3 areas that this can help you with both the cane and the empty hand system for both ACSD, Sobrevivencia, and I think in whatever, cane training that you're doing. So I'm going to ask my loving training partner to just really what they need to do is hold this here, and you're going to instruct on how to do the strikes. But the first area that it'll help you with is with footwork and really your whole body work. You've heard me say that footwork gets you in and out of trouble, and I'll just show a couple of examples. Let me show you how it gets you out of trouble, first of all. So what that cane, we can come to the agreement that cane can represent a blade, for instance. And you're coming down in here, and I'm moving out of the way. And well, I'm out of the way. Go ahead. But it's gonna, if it keeps coming down here, it's gonna cut my foot. And I happen to like my toes. I want to keep my feet. You get out of the way here, but it's cutting the arm. So it brings clarity to that as to what really should be happening here and what's your positioning as you move through there. Same thing, whether it's coming overhead and how to move with that. It's coming in straight, right, so that I can move, get in and out at the angles. Bring it back up here. The angles that are coming, anything that's coming off, to the side, coming in here. So that's one of the ways that, and of course, you're going to do all this, everything that you do, right? You can do this with the empty hand. The movements are essentially the same as you're moving in and getting in. The second way that it can do this for you is just kinesthetically from the viewpoint of working on your flows and connecting. So all she's going to do is hold this out here, get her hands down low so that I don't strike. I have to have a certain amount of skill to not be hitting her hands, but it will allow you to make contact with something and practice staying connected with it and stepping in all on the sides. See how you move in with that. You can practice at a distance, staying out here. I just have her stay. I'm practicing my footwork in here, coming in and out when I want to come in, right? But this becomes my reference point in striking and bringing this back, right, to come around. All she has to remember to do is to bring it back to the midline, and that's how we're training. And that one got in right in there. Here we go, right? To get in. You would do the same exact thing with the empty hand. You use the same model. Now we just started week 1, class 1 just started when you're coming in here, and a way to stay connected and practice those shots with the empty hand. They're the same concept of staying connected here, practicing the different hand forms. And it has a conditioning method built in there already. In other words, when I step back and I do something here, now I'm making contact, whereas wouldn't obviously want to make contact with her there, something like this, to where, you know, I'm hitting something similar to the concept of the quote unquote wooden dummy, but right, a lot simpler to go ahead and stay in here, right? A way to stay connected, locking, right, which we've demonstrated when you only have the cane. So it'll help with the striking the cane, it'll help with the empty hand. The third way you can use it, and those of you in, at the master's level, you know, ACSD form number 5, where we talked about the testing here. If you recall, Vanessa did this training back in the headquarters. But you're basically, anything that we put out there, if I put out there, you know, you're number 2, and she will go ahead and test around. And it's a way of conditioning which starts very progressive, so that you start getting used to the contact. But not just that, the positioning. If the hand is off, you're going to be making contact with bone, which is not what you want with the empty hand. So you can use it as a corrective as to whether my positioning is correct or am I off, hitting bone versus here, the stance itself. She can check it down low and tag and make sure that it brings my attention to the areas where I need to create the tension and then the relaxation. Now, if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about with ACSD form number 5, just forget that. But masters, I did want to share that with you because I've alluded to it before in the training. But just how to roll off once you do get hit, and how to move when she pushes, so that you're feeling, you know, the kind of what happens here once you get pushed, and how to move through that so that you can start getting through. That's another one, right? So she pushes. Oh, well, there it is. Well, boom. Oh, you just learned that as one of your. You learned that as part of your template with the empty hand, so that you have this slingshot coming in here. You should be able to identify what that is, and you can do it throughout with the different points in the body. As you get deeper in that course, right, these things will make more sense. But I did want to introduce, because it's very simple. You can pick this up anywhere, and with a partner, it doesn't, you know, take a lot to come in here. Boom, bring it back. It's training also for your partner, just having it there, and just, you know, hey, teach them what the strikes are. If you have something like that, this can really be a useful tool. By itself, works just like it does with the cane. When you demonstrate, if I only have the cane, this is how I use it. You can do a variety of applications that way, and it gives you that kinesthetic feel. For those of you that have been asking, there is one spot remaining for Sobrevivencia. I want to give you an update on that. I'm excited for that individual, because I am confident that most likely this is somebody who has been trying to figure out how to get here in September. Maybe and maybe not. And I will say this, you dial into your creative self. Our experience has been that generally it's not a matter of a lack of resources, but a lack of resourcefulness. There is a difference there. That's number one. We can give you some ideas regarding that. But the second important concept here is that it may be the individual who's looking at Sobrevivencia for the first time, and you just know in your heart that this is the training for you. We know it's going to be transformational for many. And so I'm excited to see who this individual, this last spot remaining, who that's going to go to. And if you have an interest in that, just go ahead. At this point, just give us a call, 800-289-8188. But please don't forget to schedule your cane clarity call either way. If you've never had a conversation, we'd like to go ahead and initiate you on the path that has helped so many. It's been transformative. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.